Admission number 1, Tasha. I noticed I wasn't excited about our call today. When I dug a little into why, the first thing that came to mind, my dear friend, because I'm jealous of you. Admission number 2, my sweet love. I was feeling less than about my professional abilities compared to yours. That's why I've been a bit judgy and criticized how you clean the house. It was my way of trying to feel superior. Deep down, I was just feeling insecure. Baby, I'm so sorry. Admission number 3, Kelly, real talk. I realized I was harder on Black people when it came to masking during COVID because I've got some anti-Black corners in me I'm still clearing out. Imagine saying those things to actual people. Well, I have. Welcome to what my Western Alabama parents called telling on yourself. My definition of telling on yourself: recognizing and then vulnerably admitting an uncomfortable truth about yourself. This truth usually lies underneath something you've said, thought, or done that has contributed to a funky or misaligned dynamic or circumstance. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, telling on myself has substantially altered the quality of my life. It's deepened my sense of alignment with the core of who I am, with my own soul. It's made possible more authentic connections with others. I use telling on myself to help make things right. And yes, I would invite you to try this at home, work and beyond, in your relationships, friendships, and if you have any in your life, mindfully with young people. For now, I recommend low-stakes admissions and working towards scarier but important ones, like this one. A few years ago, I messed up big time. I designed a course at a university. Each year brought a different cohort of about 30 students. Overall, the students and I loved the class. In year 1, however, I brought in a speaker who many of the students found problematic. By the way, the details of the speaker's content aren't important for the purposes of this talk. In year 2, thinking I had remedied the concerns from the year before, I brought the speaker back. That time around, most of the class expressed confusion and harm at the speaker's content and my decision to bring them back. So in a heartfelt way, I apologized. And they graciously accepted my apology. In the weeks following that apology, though, I still wasn't feeling right. I realized I needed to tell on myself to the class, and this is more or less what I said. In the spirit of the more honest and caring environment we've been creating in this class, there are a few things I want to share with you. Before I go any further, I need for you to know that while this will be hard, you do not need to take care of me. I'm vulnerable, not fragile. I realized I've been holding back in how I was showing up with you all. Why? I was afraid of ever making a particular kind of mistake again and potentially getting canceled, so I scrunched myself. Ever since that rupture happened with the speaker coming to class this semester, I've been asking myself, why? Why did I invite them back? Especially given the unhappy feedback of the students who took the class last year. I admitted to myself that it's because the students who expressed their concerns last year were either Asian heritage, biracial, or white. Each of those groups of people activated my biases in some way. So I wrote off their feedback. And I realized that if there had been a critical mass of Black students in last year's class who voiced the same concerns, I wouldn't have invited the speaker back. That's not aligned with my values, but I realized that's what I did. Some of you are part of one or more of the racial groups whose feedback about the speaker I ignored last year. I care about you all. And still, that's what I did. I paused, sweating, spine vibrating from fear. My soul still looks back in wonder at the compassion and grace my students showed me that day. And that's not why I told on myself or how I was able to take that plunge. What made it possible for me to tell on myself was the grace I kept extending to myself over and over in the days before I faced the class. It's a practice I call self-tenderness. That is to say, when I have stumbled or messed up, how can I be as kind to myself as I would a dear friend whom I loved and respected? How can I not cancel myself? And you know what? This practice of self-tenderness combined with real telling on myself has made me more accountable for my behavior and to my core values, not less. It reminds me that no matter what I've done or thought inherently, I will always be enough, worthy. When we do this work with groups, we emphasize again and again that first and foremost, telling on yourself is for you getting freer without, I repeat, without the assumption that you're going to win people over. So, how can you practice telling on yourself? Here are 3 key things you can try on. 1, ask yourself, what is an underneath truth about yourself that, if you admitted it, would shift you back into feeling more connected, aligned to your values, another person, your own soul? 2, cultivate personal and shared practices of telling on yourself. Start with low stakes. Admit something relatively innocuous in your journal or on a piece of paper that you can immediately shred. Build your capacity to tell on yourself in a soft place to land. Move on to admitting that thing to a trusted person or small circle of people. Now, discernment and consent are key here. Choose the time, place, and your conversation partners wisely, and get their okay before you proceed. The ways I do this regularly, I have a weekly call with 2 very trusted dear women, where one of the things we do is tell on ourselves. We do not judge, but instead celebrate the courage it takes and the tenderness underneath. I have a life partner who also practices telling on himself to me, either right away, in a day, a week, or a month. It creates such emotional generosity, sweetness, and honesty between us. 3, make sure it's a pure telling on yourself. Avoid smuggling in feedback or critique about the other person. Let go of any expectation of reciprocation. There is a place for giving constructive feedback, sharing your hurt or anger, setting boundaries. Start, though, with a practice of responsibly telling on yourself. Are you ready to do that? You can never know how telling on yourself will land with another person or how that admission will play out. If nothing else, telling on yourself can be the place where, in the midst of so much external pressure, so much noise, so much need to self-protect, to deflect, to perform, you can be still. Telling on yourself can smooth out the edges of your relationships with loved ones. It can inject the needed trust, care, and accountability into groups doing work for positive change in our communities. From this place of telling, from being still, you can come back home again and again to the truth that in the light and shadow of all that is you, you are enough. I am enough. We are enough. Thank you.